Hey Hofstra fans, it's time once again for the WBB Masons Coaches Report. I'm Rob Joyce, joined by the head coach of Hofstra women's basketball, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well, Rob.
Now this weekend your team goes 1-1 in the season debut. You win against Stetson on Friday, and then this weekend also losing to Texas. What are your thoughts on the weekend as a whole?
I mean, obviously you're glad to get your first one under your belt. We knew we were playing a strong, going to be ranked top 20 Texas team after this week, and we knew that we were going to have our work cut out for us. But you walk away, liking a few things you did, some surprises out of people, but then also knowing what you need to go back to work for.
And Stetson on Friday, your team had a 15-point lead. Stetson comes back, but you end up pulling away down the stretch. Is it nice that game one you get some adversity and your team wins?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd rather have the 14, 15-point lead to finish out, close out the game with. It's not ideal that we had a little bit of inconsistency, but again, it's just showing you, giving a barometer of what we need to work on and where we are. But to have a tight game and have a lot of young kids on the floor playing in that tight game is a good experience.
And Annie Payton, a career high 17 points, 4 threes. What do you think of her play?
She's been one I was most excited about in the off season, working really hard. We know that she's always been able to score. She's come in with an offensive presence, and we've just been getting her, going on the defensive end. But I was definitely happy.
Now the freshmen, all 5 of them played. Asia Jackson, CAA Rookie of the Week.
Yeah,
what do you think of her debut?
The best is yet to come with her. So she had a good weekend, got Rookie of the Week, but we've seen her perform at a really high level. So she's gonna be something special here at Hofstra if she keeps working and plays at our tempo. So, but I'm very proud of her.
D. Thomas Palmer makes a couple of free throws down the stretch to secure the win over Stetson. Seeing that she gave you some good minutes off the bench.
I mean, I think she played 11 minutes maybe in the game, maybe a little bit more, but those were the most important 11 minutes. I mean, she made a point that we were going to refuse to lose that game, and she was the one that was in that charge. So I can't say enough about her performance.
And Saturday against Texas, you have a 4-point halftime lead. Texas pulls away in the second half. What changed in that second half?
We came out flat in the second half. You go back and watch the film, it doesn't show how you felt, what you saw your team doing, live. And they kind of chipped away and got ahead. It was like a 21-12 deficit. By the 8:55 mark, we were down 42-51. You got to maintain that type of level of play against a top 20 team in the country. I thought Devin Green and Shantae Evans came out powering. We were grabbing rebounds, and we just didn't hold that level. And so that's something that we just got to work toward to build on. And whether it's foul trouble, whether it was missed shots, whether it was obviously getting crushed on the boards, we were going to have a hard time winning that rebounding board. That margin shouldn't have been as high as it was, but. So all of that combination, like down the stretch, as Texas was roaring back, and we just didn't hold on, and we didn't play that well to start the second half. I mean, first first ball in the second half. We have to be the aggressor, and that's just something we're just going to have to find that real quick.
And then Texas, a big Big 12 team. You expect that, a big physical team out of the Big 12. So how do you cut down that rebound margin?
I mean, again, we started the first half the way we did it. Everyone had several clips of us, everybody just boxing out, everybody putting a body, everybody driving them back. But then as the game and the conditioning and we got tired goes on, we don't continue that level. So, again, just a constant reminder, working in practice, and and I think they just kind of break us down. They kept beating us down, and then the foul situation put smaller lineups in, and everything was just a culmination of things. But to have that type of exposure, I mean, that was way better than Kansas State was last year. Across the board, they're going to win some games. They're a pretty talented team. So, they beat 13th ranked St. John's the night before. So, it's a good check for us.
And how difficult is it when you have Shantae, Devin, Candace Bond, you have D. Thomas Palmer, all with 3-4 fouls? How difficult does that make it?
It was really tough. I mean, it was a juggling match to try to, keep us afloat and nothing. And then we missed so many open shots in that game in the second half that it just deflated our bubble a little bit.
Now this weekend you take on St. John's on the road. You beat them last year. How much does last year play in effect when you have so many teams on your schedule that you played the season ago?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different lineups, different plays playing. You saw that Shanika Smith didn't play in the St. John's, Texas game for some reason, and Keelantra Langley had a boot on, but then yet everybody was back the second game. So whoever they bring out, we've got to be ready for. I'm sure they're motivated. I'm sure it's bulletin board material. They have a new head coach, but was the assistant last year. So he hadn't forgotten, the battle on the island, and we won that battle last year. So, I think we might have the edge a little bit just because they saw us play, and that, you know, we probably didn't play our best this weekend, so we just really need to prove that we're here to stay and that we're for real. And we only can do that in our play, you know, this Saturday at 2 o'clock, you know, at St. John's. So, you know, we can compete with anyone. You know, no one's better than us on the floor. We saw that live, but you just can't. You got to do it for 40 minutes. So you can't do it for 20, 25. You can't do it for just 32. You got to do it for the full 40 minutes.
How valuable was it to get that live scout down in Florida?
I mean, I think it's good. I mean, they do what they do, and they do it well. They're powerful guards. They get to the rim. You know, obviously the key to that game, which I'm sure you're going to ask me, is going to be containing their penetration, and not because if we don't do a good job containing their penetration, it's going to put our bigs back in foul trouble again, and I think that's going to be the juggling match all night.
And that was my actually next question.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Shanika Smith, one of the better players in the Big East. What do you see to slow her down?
Probably one of the best mid-range shooters I've seen in a long time, and I mean, Candace Bond did a phenomenal job on her last year. You know, she'll get that nod again, so that's going to be, you know, big shoes to fill. I think a combination of Dara McKenneth, you know, who's just powerful, you know. We've had our practice guys all week, so that's going to be fun. I mean, that helps us get better playing against, you know, some of the guys that we have that play against our team. So, because to get rid of a St. John's, they're going to be, you know, just attacking that rim. So we're just going to have to win that rebounding match and contain penetration.
What do you want to work on this week in practice?
Lot defense has been, yesterday was a big focus, you know, defensively, you know, going against press breaks, because people are pressing us a good bit. So we noticed that from the beginning, and so we're going to have to attack that a little more aggressive and kind of get that, understand that that's going to just be something that we're going to be faced with. So I think a lot of that, and then, you know, did a lot of shots yesterday. Shot a lot of free throws yesterday. That's probably the poorest free throw start of the season we've had in a long time, and it's pressure free throws. You know, we can shoot 1,000 free throws a day, but you got to make them when you need to make them. So we did that yesterday. We'll work on that again a lot, you know, this week. But, you know, a lot about us trying to play at our tempo, working on our offense, getting that back, you know, but we had a good day yesterday. I'll work on this stuff.
All right, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Hofstra takes on St. John's Saturday at 2. Check out GoHofstra.com for audio of the game. I'm Rob Joyce, and thanks, Hofstra fans, for checking out the WB Mason's Coaches Report with Krista Kilburn-Steveskey.